green flag. Biggity, biggity, biggity. Let's go racing, boys.
Let's go eat a goddamn snack.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Touchdowns and Track Limits podcast. I am your host, Skylar Dagley, reporting live today. Unfortunately, my co-hosts are not able to make it on the show as of yet. It's an hour and a half later than what we expected to started recording at. I believe Ethan's asleep and Jimmy is still recovering after a long week and working. So, I don't really blame him. And guys, we apologize for the late show this week. It's been a bit of a long week, to say the least, since we last got on the show with you guys. I cannot even begin to stress how long of a week it was. So, we'll take you through everything. But so I was actually with the boys. The Canadian did cross the border and headed down to New England for a good 5-6 days. I flew in Saturday morning to Boston and left Logan at Thursday morning, very early in the morning. We'll talk about our adventures there later in the day. But obviously after Jimmy picked me up at the airport, we headed down to the Haunted 100 at the Seekonk Speedway. I'll talk about this more now because Jimmy's not on to bring up local short tracks yet, but I gotta say I did enjoy my first New England short track experience, and after Jimmy has been talking about it to me for a good year and a half, ever since I met the guy, it was good to finally experience it. I mean, it's at a track he was only at twice in the Seekonk Speedway, but it was a good event. I really enjoyed the Monaco Modified Series. The American-Canadian Tour was a bit anticlimactic, unfortunately. But other than that, it was a great show. I mean, it was the ACT race ended up being like a 30-minute race. I mean, Lassard just hung out the back, took the championship. I can't even remember who won the race, but it was an absolute show stomper. But it was definitely an interesting show. To say the least, at the ACT. The heat races were fun. Lassard actually did have to race his way in through the last chance qualifier, so Lassard didn't make it easy on himself. But I just got a text from Jimmy saying he's exhausted, so won't be seeing the one and only James Barrett on tonight. Hopefully Ethan does wake up later in the show and can hop on for a little bit so I can talk about my experience down there with them on the show. But Monaco Tri-Track Tour race. I guess this is Jimmy's local short track segment, just recorded by me because now the racing season is over in New England till April. But shout out to the legend himself, Brett Meservey, man. What a absolute hero that guy is. It was a pleasure to meet that guy, hang out with him for a bit before and after the race. He even got us down on the front stretch. I got some really good photography to put up of Jimmy and Brett, especially. There's one picture that Jimmy's already posted that he just absolutely loves. So, I really hope that everyone gets to see that. Should probably have those out tomorrow, I would say. It was a great experience at the Seekonk Speedway, man. It really was. And, man, what more can we say? It was a good experience. I didn't stay for the Street Stomp race, seen the Street Stomp heat, but, I honestly, it was for the best. I fell asleep. We had about a 3.5 hour drive. We stopped at a Chick-fil-A on the way back, but I think we left Seekonk around 6 o'clock, got back around 10. I had been up since 1 o'clock in the morning, and to say that I was exhausted, it was an understatement. I fell asleep for about 20 minutes on the drive from home. I only went down with a backpack. I fell asleep right on the backpack, and I laid my head on the backpack with about 20, 30 minutes to go, and all you heard was... So, I was out pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But, Sunday was a great experience, man. It was, apart from the Browns losing, obviously, but got up early, headed down to the Gillette Stadium. It was a good drive down. Great to see Ethan after he got off night shift as well. And Ethan is definitely jealous that Jimmy's cat likes me more than him. But... oh my god, man. I went into this game. You can ask these guys this, but I went into this Browns Patriots game with the mindset of we're going to lose. It's more than likely, so I might as well have a little fun with it. Might as well enjoy my time here at Gillette Stadium. It was my first first NFL game. So I was more than happy to experience the show, and yeah, it was a great time, man. Like the race. What am I talking about? Drake May has entered the NASCAR Cup Series, but yeah, no, the game. It was a good game. I mean, it was a low scoring game. We got the first touchdown, and my hope was instantly skyrocketed. I'm like, oh my god, we might actually have a chance. We had our first drive and our first touchdown, but unfortunately, the good play calls ran out. Dylan Gabriel had to play hero ball, and yeah, it ended up being a 32-13 point loss for my Cleveland Browns. Lost by 19, and then had a couple days in Vermont to chill with the boys, see the state. Such a beautiful state, by the way. I really hope you guys, if you haven't been, please go to Vermont. Such a beautiful state, man. Those mountains are absolutely gorgeous. I cannot begin to describe how beautiful that state is, man. Please just take a day, take a road trip through that state. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Yeah, that was really the last 2 days, just really getting to see the area of the town my boys grew up in. Well, Jimmy didn't grow up there. Jimmy's a Connecticut boy, but they moved to Vermont when he was really young. Yeah, we went bowling Tuesday night. Me and Ethan both sucked, while Jimmy hit about 115 to 110 each time. So, yeah, no, it was a rough day at the office for me and Ethan, to say the least, at the old Rutland Bowlerama. But yeah, then Wednesday night came. We headed into downtown Boston. We were at the TD Garden Arena to experience Celtics versus Cavaliers. Awesome time. We were pretty much allowed to be courtside up until somebody came to the courtside seats who actually had the ticket. So shout out to the lady who told us that we could just go down courtside and hang out and have fun and see our players up close and personal. I was probably about 6 feet from Jaylen Brown on the sidelines. That was pretty darn cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got a pretty cool souvenir. Or actually, I'll switch the camera over real quick. So there you go. This is what you guys usually don't get to see on the pod, but for my YouTube watchers at least, here is my little cool souvenir. I mean, obviously it isn't the exact seats that we had, but I guess it kind of, it says gate 10, section 29, row 20, and seat 25. So it's October 29th, 2025. That's my first NBA game. I thought this would be a cool souvenir to take home. A buddy of mine was a Celtics fan from back where, oh my god, now I'm showing my damn notes. From back where I originally grew up in. So I was texting with him, keeping up with him the whole time, and sending him the videos and stuff. So if anything, this one hurt more because I expected the Cavs to win. I expected the Cavs to put up a good performance. And after the first quarter, really once Jaylen Brown hit the buzzer beater and we started missing some shots early in the third, that was pretty much the end of the game, man. The Celtics got momentum late in the second quarter. There was one guy who hit about 5 3-pointers in a row. I want to actually have a look at this real quick because I cannot remember his name, but it was some bald dude. It was pretty much like when Alex Caruso took the NBA by storm. I'm like, dude, who is this guy? But the Celtics actually play in about 15 minutes against the 76ers. The Cavs play in about 45. They take on the Toronto Raptors without Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. Jared Allen had a lot of free throws on Wednesday, by the way. I'm on to Monday. Where's Wednesday? There we are. That's the game I was at. Cavaliers Celtics. Yeah, Jaylen Brown had a big game, man. He had 30 points. I should go look back through the Patriots stats, too. See that game. Evan Mobley had 19 for us. Donovan Mitchell only had 15. Rough night at the office. I don't know what he was from the field, but what's that guy's name? Sam Hauser. My man's had 21 points from 21 minutes. He was just hucking threes, man. It was crazy to watch. Lonzo Ball only had 3 points. I felt like Lonzo had at least 6, but that's odd. Jalen Tyson played a decent game. DeAndre Hunter, especially in the second half, I thought was really good. He did play some really good basketball, if you ask me. But yeah, that's about the size of that. We'll have a look. Actually, we'll talk more about the friggin' Patriots game once we get to it into the schedule. But yeah, overall, I mean, other than staying up all night in the Logan Airport and only getting 2 hours of sleep here in Moncton before flying down to the beautiful city of Boston, it was an absolutely amazing time. I wouldn't trade that experience for the world, and I am beyond glad that I got to go see those boys and we got to live it up like we did. But anyways, that's enough of that. You guys are here for podcast talk. Let's get down to business. So, looking back upon NFL Week 8, we have the Los Angeles Chargers beating the Minnesota Vikings 37-10. This was a very, very good game. Good game. I don't know what I'm going off there, but it was a game of something. Justin Herbert didn't have a bad game at all. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Those San Diego unis showed why, and they played why like they deserved to be back in San Diego. This was the Vidal breakout game, though. 117 yards, 1 touchdown. Great game from Vidal, man. Justin Herbert even had 62 grounds on the yard from 7 attempts. I don't know if he's seen Madison Beer behind the goalpost and was trying to get to her, but I don't really know, man. Ladd McConkey had a good game through the air with a touchdown and 88 yards off of 6 receptions. Gadsden, the new tight end, had a decent game. Keenan Allen came up with a couple of good catches, but Carson Wentz was sent on a suicide mission in this one, man. I mean, he was basically playing with a season-ending injury, and they just kept him out there like it was nothing. Like, I didn't understand what the Minnesota Vikings were trying to do at this point, but eventually they did chuck in Brosmer in garbage time, but it was just useless at that point, man. Scott had a good game along the ground. Aaron Jones back for the Vikings. I'm sure he'll get a lot more snaps on Sunday. I don't know if the Vikings are on the bye or not, but Justin Jefferson is the Minneapolis, or, well, technically Minneapolis, I guess, because they're in Minneapolis, but they call the team the Minnesota Vikings because it is in the state of Minnesota. Now I'm giving you guys a lesson on geography. Don't ask me why I'm doing that, man. But yeah, Jefferson had a good game. Jordan Addison did have the game's only touchdown for the Minnesota side of things. This is literally last week, man. So crazy to look back on everything here, man. But anyway, what else do we got on offer here? That was a rough Thursday night football watch. Last night's Thursday night football was an even rough watch. I also forgot to mention, but apologies for the late podcast, guys. We were going to record last night, but I was up for about 40 hours straight. I record all the podcasts, so without me, this podcast is a no-go. So we were set to record around 6 o'clock Eastern time last night. At about 5 o'clock, I was so tired. I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a nap, and yeah, I'll see where we're at that point. I'll set my alarm for 6, and I'll get up and get on the show. Woke up at 8:30. So, yeah, I was exhausted. I didn't get any sleep at all on the plane or the hanging out in Logan Airport. I didn't want anybody to rob my shit. So, that was basically the size of that. And yeah, apologies for a late Friday night episode, guys. I'm going to get this podcast done as soon as humanly possible and go watch the Truck Series finale tonight at the Phoenix Raceway. Yeah. Our next game, though, is the Miami Dolphins against the Atlanta Falcons. Where was this Miami last night against the Ravens, man? Oh my God. The Dolphins did something. The Miami Dolphins won a football game in the Big 2025. Mike McDaniel might not be cooked. Tua Tagovailoa may not be cooked. Tua had a great game, too. 20 for 26, 4 touchdowns, took 1 sack, had a 138.6 quarterback rating. They even put Zach Wilson in the game, man. Zach Wilson. Ay. This is Zach freaking Wilson. Oh my God. Devon Achan had a great game along the ground for 18 or on 18 carries for 67 rush yards. Jalen Waddle, man, 99 yards off of 5 receptions. Malik Washington had a decent game through the air. So did Devon Achane. Ollie Gordon with 1 reception for 20 yards. Yeah, man, great game for the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, the Falcons did have to play with Kirk Cousins in this one. So, I don't know, man. Big Kirko don't got it no more. Something happened to my man, and something's just not the same. But, I mean, he's getting a generational bag, if nothing else. He didn't throw an interception, if nothing else. Bijan with only 25 yards in the game. I mean, they did have to play hero ball for most of the game, considering they were down for all of it. But Kyle Pitts with 59 yards through the air on 9 receptions. But, yeah, man, yeah. Rough one for the Falcons. Gotta say that. Rough one for the Falcons. Okay, we got the Baltimore Ravens getting the start of their win streak after winning last night. They beat the Chicago Bears on week 7 with Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley at quarterback. Now, 17 for 22 Huntley was, 186 yards, 1 touchdown, and took 2 sacks along the way. Derrick Henry led the game rushing. Tyler Huntley also had 53 yards. Flowers had an 8-yard rush at one point. But Zay Flowers was the man in the game, 63 yards for the man from Boston College. Rashad Bateman with 51 yards on 2 receptions. And Mark Andrews with 34 from 3. What do you do in this situation if you're the Chicago Bears? Oh my God, man. You should have went in there and expected to go toe-to-toe with Baltimore, and you really didn't. Caleb Williams was 25 for 38, 285 yards. Swift, 45 on 11 on the carries. Roma Dunze had a great game through the air with 114 yards on 7 receptions, but just wasn't good enough. Just wasn't good enough. 2 fumbles by the Bears as well. Caleb Williams did have an interception, but no touchdowns, so... yeah, rough game for the Bears, man. Hopefully they can respond. I don't know if they've already had their bye week, but they're going to need to bounce back after that one, man. That was a rough loss last night. Belt to ass is a great way to describe this next game, man. The Buffalo Bills beat the Carolina Panthers 40-19. What is a rushing defense? Don't ask the Carolina Panthers because they don't have a clue. Josh Allen had a great game for 12 for 19. The Buffalo offense is really starting to rely on their rushing game a lot and bring up their passing game when you need to. But, guys, I want you to think about this for a second. Lamar Jackson has more passing touchdowns this season than Josh Allen. And Lamar Jackson was out for a month. Think about that for a second. Just think about that. But anyways, Josh Allen, he had a good game along the ground and rushing. He'd had 2 rushing touchdowns, for Josh Allen. And James freaking Cook, my man, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns. Longest rush was 64 yards to the house. How about that from number 4, man? Buffalo's been needing to get him going lately, and James Cook definitely got going against the Miami Dolphins, man. Great performance by number 4 in this game. Khalil Shakir had a decent game through the air. He had a touchdown as well. Same with Keon Coleman, 3 for 30. Kincaid was 1 for 23. Yeah, don't ask the Carolina Panthers what a defense anything relating to defense was. Dowdle and Chuba did their best to keep them in the game. Dalton only threw 1 interception, but still no touchdowns for the Red Rifle. T-Mac Tetaroya McMillan with 99 yards through the air. Bryce Young will be back for the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. I believe they play... Who do they play? It says on the top of my screen here. The Green... Is that actually... Oh my God, they play Green Bay. Dear God, I pity them. Well, guys, the week after me and Jimmy talk about how ass the New York Jets are, they go out and win a football game. How? Go freaking figure. Am I right? Go freaking figure. Of course, the New York Jets would literally go out and win the week after we talk about how bad they are. If anything, I think this says more about the Bengals than it does the Jets, man. Fields played well, 1 touchdown through the air. Breece Hall had 113 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, and a passing touchdown. Yes, you heard me correctly. Breece Hall didn't just chuck any touchdown. I'm shutting off my lights here. You're probably not going to be able to hear me the best for a second. I just know I'm not going to be recording any more videos with face cam tonight. But Breece Hall, yes, you heard me correctly, had a passing touchdown to win the game. Great trick play by Aaron Glenn. What more can we say? I mean, it was supposed to be Tyrod Taylor starting this game until he had an injury in practice, which got Justin Fields another game. You guys know I love Justin Fields. I really hope something will work out for him soon, but it's just not going the way he would want it at the moment. But yeah, Breece Hall had a great game. Ty Johnson had a great game receiving. He caught the game's one passing touchdown. I think the defense might have actually no who Taylor had a receiving touchdown. Yeah, he was the one who caught the Breece Hall pass. Joe Flacco, man, he didn't even throw an interception. Flacco had 223 yards on 21 completions. And yeah, I think this says a lot about the Bengals defense. You gave up 39 points to the New York Jets. I don't know what to tell you. Samaje Perine had 94 yards along the ground. Chase Brown had a touch. Oh my God. Flacco had a rushing touchdown. Brown had a rushing touchdown. Samaje Perine had a rushing touchdown. Jamar Chase didn't even get a touchdown. T. Higgins did. He was 1 reception for 44 yards. God damn, attaboy T. I have him in one of my leagues in fantasy. Chase Brown got a touchdown through the air as well. So that Bengals offense is awesome, but man, their defense. Oh man. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Houston Texans. Other way around. The Houston Texans beat the San Francisco 49ers 26-15. Can you tell I'm a bit on the tired side? I need another good night of sleep in a row to fully crash this. I'm not even going to call it jet lag. I'm going to call it airport lag, because the only thing that's messing up my sleep was not getting any sleep in the airport and getting 2 hours of sleep before I flew down on Saturday. But oh my God, man. Yeah, big win for the Houston Texans. Very, very big win for the Houston Texans. This stabilizes them as being legit. Like, a lot of people were overlooking the Texans, and I mean, the more that I was really starting to doubt CJ Stroud, I'm like, dude, what happened to you? Like, you were so good in college for my Buckeyes. You were really good the last 2 years in Houston. Like, what's happened? Like, did Stephon Diggs just completely ruin the team chemistry in Houston? Like, I don't even know, man. It was, yeah, no, I don't even know what to say. But Stroud had a great game, 30 for 39, 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. We can forgive the interception, though. Will Marks had a great game along the ground. Nick Chubb had 56 on the ground. But Xavier Hutchinson with a receiving touchdown. Jaden Higgins with a receiving touchdown. Yeah, big win for Houston, man. Very, very, very big win for Houston. They needed a statement win like that, and I'm glad they came up with it. The 49ers, man, Mac Jones didn't have his greatest game, to say the least. They really struggled to get that offense going, especially in the first half. But they were able to get there eventually, but unfortunately it was too little too late. Texans come away with the dub. Oh, now I gotta talk about this one. Wonderful. You guys know how I felt. I was expecting the Browns to lose, but Dylan Gabriel with a 21 for 35 game, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Makai Corley had one attempt rushing for 31 yards. Judkins was held to 19. Harold Fannin with the first touchdown of the game. Njoku had a touchdown as well on National Tight Ends Day. Big day for the tight ends, man. I actually got a video of the Harold Fannin touchdown. It honestly made my day to have that on video. I had to buy a Travion Henderson jersey because I made a bet with those boys I'd wear a Patriots jersey if we lost the game, and sure enough, we did. I was like, if I have to buy a jersey, I'm going to buy a Travion Henderson one because he's an Ohio State guy. And yeah, that's hanging up in my closet right now. It's one of the rivalry jerseys too. So I will say it was kind of cool to take that back to Canada and have it as a collector's item. But Drake May, 18 for 24, 282 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. And here's an honest conversation I want to have with you guys. I honestly think Drake May should be MVP at this rate. I really do. And these guys said to me a lot, like, yeah, Drake May is going to have a phenomenal season this year. He's going to be MVP. I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't go that far. I expect him to be pretty good, but damn, I wouldn't say he's going to get MVP. My man's took 5 sacks in this game because Will Campbell couldn't block Myles Garrett. But yeah, Drake May should honestly be MVP. He honestly deserves it. Because look at who else is ahead of him. Josh Allen is barely throwing any passing touchdowns. Buffalo are still getting wins, but he's been really disappointing those last 2 weeks before the bye week. Drake May hasn't really had a disappointing game apart from week 1 against the Raiders. And I don't even know, man. Like, what more can you say? I honestly think Drake May should be the MVP. I don't know how you can't argue it. He's having a better season than Mahomes. The Chiefs have only finally got their stuff together. Drake May, if I was to hand out the MVP right now, I'm giving it to Drake May. That's just the way I see it. Yeah, Mac Hollins had 89 yards. Big game for the former Bill. Booty had a long touchdown. Mario Douglas had a great 44-yard reception at one point. Hooper had a good game. Former Cleveland Brown, of course. How did Ramondre do? Ramondre was only held to 34 yards along the ground. Diggs had his first touchdown as a Patriot. Hunter Henry had a touchdown on his 1 reception. God, they love throwing a Hunter Henry in the end zone, man. Philly. Good win for them. They needed a big win. 38-20 against the Giants. I want to talk about the Eagles for a bit before I get into the Giants, man. Hurts was 15 for 20 for 179. Saquon Barkley, 14 for 150 with a touchdown. He had a 66-yard touchdown to start the game or something stupid. Devonta Smith had a big game through the air. No A.J. Brown in this game. He was out injured. Dallas Goedert had 2 touchdowns. But what did the football gods do to the New York Giants? What did they do? They took Scatterboo. They really took Scatterboo. No. Oh my God, it pains me just to talk about it. Why him? Like, anyone but him. Oh my God, man. He's so fun to watch. I really hope he can come back from this injury. I was talking about this with Ethan too. I was like, Cam Scatterbo would be the kind of guy to get an operation on his ankle and start jumping a week after and completely do it in again. What injury did Cam Scatterbo even have? I know it was an ankle injury, but it was like a dislocated ankle. What was the scoop on? Open fracture. Man, like, oh man, poor Scatterbo. Poor Scatterbo, man. He's of course he's at the team facility more and more, catching, like, helping his teammates out. Like, how can you not love Cam Scatterbo, man? Jackson Dart was obviously visibly shaken up to see his brother go off the field like that. Like, yeah, rough one for the New York Giants, man. I am a Cleveland Browns fan, and I feel bad for the New York Jets. Well, the Jets too, but the Giants, man. Such a brutal loss. I think they win this game with Scatterboo as well, but the Eagles game planned well. They got the revenge over the Giants. Yeah, big win for them. Tampa Bay 23, New Orleans 3. This game started the late window. Although this looks impressive on paper, Baker Mayfield didn't have his greatest game. He had a couple fumbles, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there was a fumble lost by Baker Mayfield. Levante David fumbled. Jajante Dean fumbled. Nelson fumbled. Antoine Winfield fumbled. Oh, man. Tampa. Tampa. What happened? What happened out there? I mean, you still got the win. You still got the win by 20 points, a comfortable margin. But this ain't the Bucs we been seeing. Emeka Ibuka was only held to 3 catches. Oh my God! Like, what happened to the Bucs? Cade Otton with 4 from 40, or 40 for 4. But like, if anything, it just says more about how bad the New Orleans Saints are, because the Bucs did not look impressive in the slightest. Not in the slightest. But, oh well. Spencer Rattler was benched. Tyler Show will be the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints for the coming weeks. He was 15 for 21. Spencer was for 136 yards. Show was put in the game. He got 17 for 30, 128 yards. Both quarterbacks did throw an interception. Tyler Show did take one less sack than Spencer Rattler, but to me, that stat says more about the O-line than it does the quarterback. Alvin Kamara only was held to 21 yards along the ground. My man's is only good in the first 3 weeks of the season. Raheed Shaheed was 75 yards. Chris Olave was 63. Yeah. New Orleans. Oh my God, they better hope they get the number 1 pick, man, because they are ass. They are the definition of ass. Who else we got? Broncos 44, Cowboys 24. Now, this game was in fact a game. Dak Prescott 19 for 31, 188 yards. Bo Nix put belt to ass on those Cowboys. 19 for 29, 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dobbins with 111 yards on the ground. RJ Harvey with 2 touchdowns on the ground and a receiving touchdown as well. Great game for Harvey, man. Great game for the young Broncos rookie. Pat Bryant got into the end zone. Troy Franklin with 2 touchdowns on 89 yards. Big game for this Broncos team, man. They asserted their dominance in the AFC West. They currently lead the way over the 5-3 Chiefs and Chargers. Don't need to talk about the Raiders too much. Joe Milton was even put in the game for the Cowboys as they were getting belt to ass so bad. Joe Milton did have a friggin' 60-yard touchdown, I think it was. Something crazy like that. I mean, good for him. Actually, I think it was like a 30 or 40-yarder. But good for Joe Milton. Glad he got some minutes. And, yeah, rough game for the Dallas Cowboys. No more you need to say there. We expected the Broncos to win, and they did. Colts ran over a poor stuffed teddy bear on the road. A poor, helpless teddy bear was just brutalized and beaten down by the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward, man, I have, like Ethan said a couple weeks ago, I have never felt more confident in a quarterback whose team is literally below 200. Like, Cam Ward was, 22 for 38, 259 yards, 1 touchdown interception, 4 sacks taken by Cam Ward. Tajay Spears had a decent game. He had 59 yards on the ground. Tony Pollard had 44. Yeah, this Titans O-line is not helping them in the slightest. Dyke had 93 yards. Okawankwo had 53. And Emmanuel Aomanor had 52. Too busy twisting my tongue here to speak any English tonight. Danny Dimes, man. Danny Dimes. He is actually being Danny Dimes. What more can you say about Daniel Jones, man? He's really coming back into his own. Yeah. What more can you say, man? The man from Duke is really coming into his own in the Indianapolis Colts. Jonathan Taylor had himself a legacy game with 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 receiving, 153 yards along the ground, my man. 153. That is mental. They even had Riley Leonard in there to get rushing yards. That's pretty crazy, man. That man played in the national championship with Notre Dame, and he's out here backing up Danny Dimes in the league. Michael Pittman had 95 yards and a touchdown. Downs had a touchdown. Obviously, Taylor had his receiving touchdown. Can the Colts keep this up? Can the Indianapolis Colts keep this up? I know one buddy of mine who I used to work with would absolutely love it if they could. I think they're on the bye week this week. No, they actually have Pittsburgh that'll be an interesting game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on a 2-game losing streak. It'll be interesting to see what the Colts can do, man. If Jonathan Taylor can keep it up along the ground, I believe in them. But if Danny Dimes has to play the kind of football you have to do in New York and keep playing from behind, it's not going to be a good season for the Indianapolis Colts if that starts to happen. But they're 7-1 currently, halfway point of the year pretty well. I think they're doing just fine. Packers, Steelers, 35-25 game win for the Packers. How about Tucker Kraft, ladies and gentlemen? Man, we got to start handing out awards on this show, and I am going to give Tucker Kraft our absolute Baller of the Week award. Have a listen to this, guys. 143 yards on 7 receptions. I repeat, 143 yards on 7 receptions. 2 touchdowns from Tucker. 9 targets. Dog. Absolute dog. Wilson had 61 yards on 11 attempts along the ground. Only 13 carries for Jacobs. He was held to 33, but he did have a touchdown. Rodgers was 24 for 36. Had to take 3 sacks. If this Steelers team had a better O-line, I genuinely think they'd be in real contention to win the AFC, man. I really would believe that. But Jaylen Warren was 62 from 13 on the ground. Kenneth Gainwell had 5 for 31. Russell Wilson, 74 yards. Wait, Russell Wilson? Oh, Romeo Wilson. I seen R. Wilson on Pittsburgh and automatically assumed it was Russell Wilson. I'm like, wait, he ain't on the Steelers anymore. Let alone is he a receiver. He had a touchdown. He actually had a hell of a touchdown in this game. DK Metcalf, 5 for 55, 1 touchdown on 7 targets. Calvin Austin had 28 yards. Pat Freiermuth had nowhere near the game he had last week. But, oh well, man. It is what it is, unfortunately. And, yeah, the 9-8 Super Bowl is definitely still alive for the Steelers. That was your Sunday Night Football game. Very fitting for Sunday Night Football to have the best tight ends performance on National Tight Ends Day. And we ended it all off on Monday Night Football as the Washington Commanders faced the Kansas City Chiefs. 28-7 in this one. And, yeah, Marcus Mariota did play a pretty good game. I mean, the first interception was definitely not his fault. Second one, a little bit more. 21 for 30. For Mariota. I mean, I don't think this is much different of a game. If Jaden Daniels plays, maybe it's 14 or 20, maybe 17 or 21-28. But, yeah, not a great day for Washington. Terry McLaurin did have a hell of a touchdown in this one. He was 54 for 3 on 4 targets. McCaffrey did have some good catches in this game as well. Nichols was the leading receiver for Washington on 64 yards. Debo only with 11. That's kind of crazy. They pretty much used him for his short yards. Mariota did have the most rushing yards for the Commanders. That's the good thing the Commanders have is Mariota's a really similar backup for Jaden Daniels, similar styles. So that helps them play the way that they would like to more. Krasky Merritt with 25 on 9 attempts. Zach Ertz, he only had 16 yards. That's kind of surprising. That whenever I watch Washington games, they seem to love throwing to Zach Ertz. Mahomes, 25 for 34, 229, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mahomes is playing good football, but do you see why I believe Drake May should be the MVP? Isaiah Pacheco, 58 yards for the man. I don't know what college he's from. I'm actually going to look that up. What college did Isaiah Pacheco go to? Let me know in the comments down below if you find it out before I do. And Isaiah Pacheco went to the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Rutgers. Cool. Rutgers University, New Brunswick. I live in the province of New Brunswick, but that is in New Jersey. Okay, cool. Kareem Hunt did have a touchdown along the ground. He was 40 for 9. Mahomes even had some rushing yards, 30 for 4. Kelsey had a receiving touchdown with 99 yards. Big game for Killa Trav. Rashee Rice had himself a touchdown. Rice had a rushing touchdown as well. So big game for Rashee Rice. Yeah, that's all we've got for the games this week, guys. I am going to get into my picks for next week's games. Hopefully, Jimmy and Ethan will send their picks into me soon so we can have all their picks for next week. But since the Ravens game already happened, I am going to give all of us the Ravens because we would have all picked the Ravens in this one. I'm going to keep it real with you. Maybe one of them might have picked the Dolphins, but I'm going to be nice and give us all the Ravens, even with the game already happening. Who all is on the bye this week? Let me double check that. So the Browns, Jets, Eagles, and Bucks are all on the bye this week. And first games first, we have the Bears and Bengals. I am going to take... Oh, man, it's actually kind of tough. You know what? I think both teams' defense suck, and I think the Bengals are going to be able to outslice. Basically, I think this game is going to come to Joe Flacco outslicing Caleb Williams. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals in this one. Vikings, Lions. It's going to be the Lions. They're going to have to start that Max Dosman fella. I don't even know what his name is at quarterback. I don't know if J.J. McCarthy's still out, but yeah, this looks like an easy Lions win. Packers and Panthers. This one's obviously going to be the Green Bay Packers, guys. Like, come on. Come on. The Denver Broncos are going to beat the Houston Texans, if you ask me. I think the Broncos are going to keep up the momentum, but good game to watch, though, in my opinion. The Texans are starting to catch some heat. That could be a good game on Fox. I will say that. 49ers, Giants. Yeah, unfortunately for the Giants, I'm going to have to take the 49ers. God, I feel so bad for the Giants. Colts, Steelers. Sorry, Pittsburgh, but it's going to be the Colts. Honestly feel bad for the Steelers. They need to move on from Tomlin, man. Chargers, Titans. This one is going to go to the Los Angeles Chargers. Sorry, Tennessee. Who would even be the number one pick at this rate? I want to see NFL Draft 2026. I want to see this. It's honestly just came into my mind. The draft is in Pittsburgh next year, Thursday, April 23rd, and that's just the projections. Mock draft, I guess. Who would be... So the Saints would have the number one. The Jets would have second. Caleb Downs to the Jets. Oh, that would be such a waste of talent. Arvell Reese, Tennessee. My Brownies would have number 4 if this season keeps up the way it is. So only time will tell. Rams are going to beat the living piss out of the New Orleans Saints. Tyler's show. That is not going to be a good game for you, my man. Jaguars, Raiders. I'm going to take the Jags in this one. Aren't the Jags coming off a bye week? I believe so. I don't think the Jags played last week, so I think that could be a good reset for them. And Geno Smith is going to find every opposition player he can find to throw to. No Travis Hunter in this one, so someone else will have to do it. Hopefully my boy Greg Newsome comes up with one. Chiefs, Bills. Oh man, I'm just realizing that's as big as a game as it comes. Whoever wins this game could genuinely have the MVP quarterback. Oh man. It's in Buffalo. And the Bills always win the regular season games between these two. So I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. I am going to take the Buffalo Bills to defeat the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday. I'll be watching NASCAR Championship weekend, but that is going to be a fun game to watch at that time of the day if you are a straight football fan. Yeah. Potential AFC championship game right there, but NFC game on Sunday Night Football. Seahawks, Commanders. I'm going to have to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Washington just hasn't lived up to the standard we've set for them all season. I am going to take Sam Darnold to ball out once again. Cardinals, Cowboys. Cowboys are going to beat the piss out of the Cardinals, man. Sorry, Arizona, but y'all suck. Y'all are terrible. And yeah, that moves us on from the football segment. Let's get into the NASCAR recap of the week. William Byron gets the win at the Martinsville Speedway. Big, big win for Willie B and the 24 team. Now, Ryan Blaney did come up a close second in this one. It was basically Blaney or Byron the whole day. Byron stepped out. He showed out. What a belt to ass performance by William Byron. That pass with 40 to go, that sent a statement of intent to me. I'm like, damn, Byron is not here to fool around this year. Like, that was a great performance. Like, I cannot even begin to describe how good of a performance it was for Willie B this year. Sorry, I'm just sending Ethan a text. He says, just trying to let him know if I'm recording, if he wants to hop on. There we go. Sorry for the distraction, but yeah, no, great race by William Byron, man. We watched the race on Monday. Ethan fell asleep watching it because he was getting ready for night shift. I watched the race on Peacock. Yeah, great performance for Willie B, man. Ryan Blaney, P2. Nothing wrong with that for the 12 team, man. They did the best that he could. He showed up. He did the best that he could, but unfortunately, that 24 car was just faster than Ryan Blaney, Jonathan Hassler, and the 12 team could bring. All the best you could do. The three of the must-win guys. Well, yeah, all three of them. Wait. No, Logano. If Logano finished fourth, it would have been all the must-win guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. But Chase Elliott, P3, followed by Ross Chastain, Kyle Larson, Ryan Preece. Great performance by Ryan Preece, man. I had to spin him into the power rankings this week. He was up there hanging with the big dogs. Something about Ryan Preece in the Martinsville Speedway, man. He can hold it down there. This might be a hot take, guys, but I think Ryan Preece will win a race in the 2026 season. I really do. I believe in this guy. I believe in the 60 team. I know my co-hosts will absolutely love the sight of that the day that Ryan Preece wins a NASCAR Cup Series race, and I will never hear the end of it, but that's not a bad thing because I like Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece is a great guy. Hopefully he's at the Stafford Speedway next year and I can come down and see him. Christopher Bell, P7. Yeah, just didn't show up as he needed to, man. Bell needed to outrun Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson was up in the top 5 all day, and Bell just did not have that speed, unfortunately so. Bell's best hope was basically that none of those guys who needed to win, and they did. So, rough luck, Christopher. That's just life sometimes. Joey Logano, P8. Todd Gilliland. Wow, the Grillo's Pickles car, P9. I almost forgot about Todd Gilliland, of all people, finishing 9th as I damn near ripped my headphone jack out of my computer. But, oh my good God, man. I'm getting so tired. I cannot wait to get to bed tonight. Oh my God. Josh Berry rounds out the top 10. Good result for the 21 as well. Tyler Reddick, P11. I mean, never really was there the whole day. Ty Gibbs, P12. Kyle Busch, Shane Van Gisbergen. I don't know. I guess it's because of the braking, but Martinsville seems to be one of the better tracks that translates for the road course guy like SVG is. It's probably how they have to be on the brakes that translates over. So good run for Van Gisbergen, Cindric, Dylan, Custer, Bubba Wallace, Justin Haley, Ryan Blaney. No, what? Ryan Blaney, what am I talking about? Justin Haley, Brad Keselowski, John Hunter Nemechek, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, Michael McDowell, Zane Smith, Ty Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., AJ Allmendinger, Chris Buescher, Noah Gragson, Carson Hocevar, who just, poor guy, couldn't stop being spun if he tried. Cody Ware, Casey Mears, Eric Jones, Denny Hamlin, Riley Herbst, and Chase Briscoe. Now, 3 Gibbs-affiliated Toyotas blew motors on Sunday. That could be a very, very big red flag for the final race on Sunday. That could be a very, very big red flag. Like, yeah. Not a very good scene. I don't know if they were trying something with the motors, seeing if it would work, seeing if they could push them to the max degree, and see if they could last the whole race, but if you're having motors blow at Martinsville, then, like, something has to give. I don't know, man. I don't freaking know. The red flags are waving. I was very confident in Toyota heading into Phoenix, but that confidence has definitely dropped heading in to the finale here on Sunday. But yeah, let's preview the championship race. You know what happened at Martinsville. It was basically Blaney versus Byron, and Byron pretty much led the whole show. Like, Byron led 304 laps, Blaney led 177. It was basically going to be Byron versus Blaney, and Byron came up in the clutch. I will say, no Penske car in the championship 4, but guys, it is the final 4. Phoenix will decide it all. Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Kyle Larson will be the 4 to decide this championship in 2025. Now, I made a video that was just released about an hour and a half ago as of recording this, predicting all 3 of the championship series. So let's go through it in order. I picked Caden Honeycutt to win the Truck Series championship. Why? Because, I don't know, I just feel like Corey Heim isn't the best guy at Phoenix, and it's... God, I'm going to be so pissed if Corey Heim loses this championship, man. If they do not make changes to the playoffs and Corey Heim and Connor Zilic lose these championships, we genuinely need to stop buying tickets to these races. Like, that would just be absolutely pathetic if Connor Zilic and Corey Heim don't win these championships and they leave the format as it is. Like, that would just be absolutely... I can't think of a non-cuss word to describe it, but it would be pathetic. It would be straight up pathetic. I think Justin Allgaier deserves the championship, deserves at least a shot at the championship for sure. I mean, he's been very consistent this whole Xfinity season, and has been the one to hold his own the most with Connor Zilic, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think Tyler Ankram's the most likely to win. I just don't believe in that Chevy truck program. But Ford's proven that they can do it on the short track scale at Phoenix, man. Every time this championship goes to Phoenix, and if they have a car in it, they always seem to win it. This is the only Ford in all the championship 4s in Ty Majeski. I think Ty Majeski should be the favorite going into this race. He said literally at Martinsville, I'm playing with house money against Corey Heim. If anyone's got the short track program figured out, it's Ty Majeski in ThorSport. My man doesn't have a 10,000 I rating for nothing. I think something stupid happens to Majeski, though. It's just been one of those years for the 98 team. I would hate to see that happen for him, but it's just the way I think it's going to be. So, sorry, Majeski, but it's just how it's going to be. I just think something stupid's going to happen to you, and I really hope it doesn't, but I have a feeling if you keep it clean and all 4 wheels on the road, you will be the back-to-back Craftsman Truck Series champion. Now, Caden Honeycutt's my pick, because obviously I think something stupid's going to happen to Ty Majeski. I basically am thinking this championship's going to come down to Caden Honeycutt versus Corey Heim. Now, if Corey Heim is in front of Caden Honeycutt has proven to me in the last season or so that he's willing to do what it takes. He's bumped guys out of the way. He's wrecked people, whether by purpose or an accident, but still he's done it. And that's proving to me that you are willing to go the extra mile to win this championship. And he's never even been in a championship situation before. I'm taking Caden Honeycutt to win the championship, man. I think it's going to come down to him and Heim. I think he's going to move Heim on the last lap. Is probably my best bet, because you know how the truck series work. It's probably going to go to overtime. It's probably going to be another shit show of a race. But I'm going to take Honeycutt. As for Xfinity, man, you may say that Justin Allgaier is the most likely one to beat Connor Zilic. But guys, are we really gonna deny the speed that guy, that kid, and that team have had this entire season, he is the quickest of the quick, man. He really is. And he's racing two of his teammates in another team that has worse equipment than Junior Motorsports. Bear in mind, two of his teammates are short track guys, but I fully believe that this is Connor Zilich's time. I really do. And if you let him get out in front, he's not going to hand it back. He's going to drive away. He's going to show his pace. He's going to show why he's probably the hottest prospect ever in the history of the NASCAR spectrum, man. The amount of belief I have in this kid is second to none, man. He is a second to none, once in a lifetime kind of talent. And look out for Connor Zilich, man. I think this man could win in literally anything he drives. And in a few years, we may be talking about why Connor Zilich is the best driver in the world, not Kyle Larson or Max Verstappen. I'd love to see Connor Zilich race Max Verstappen someday, dude. Oh my God. Them two and the equal machinery, I think that would be a show and a half. But as you guys can tell, I'm going with Connor Zilich to win the Xfinity Series Championship. I just don't think anybody's as fast as him. He's won at short tracks. He's won at flat tracks. He's technically won at a super speedway. He's technically, he's won at road courses, obviously. I can't not take Connor Zilich. Corey Heim has proven to me he could lose the championship at Phoenix. Connor Zilich has proven to me that he can win everywhere. And even in high-pressure situations, he's always at the front contending for wins. I'm going to take the 88. I'd probably put the 7-second and, I don't know, the 2 and the 1 tie for third. But it's going to be an interesting race on Saturday, man. I think Saturday will probably be the funnest race. I will say that. But now, the NASCAR Cup Series. I'm going to go from top to bottom to top on this one. I do think Kyle Larson's the most likely to finish at the bottom of these final four. He has the least speed of the next gen at Phoenix. His winning edge has dropped off since Indy. I think Kyle Larson's it's almost similar to the way that Chase Elliott had a drop off since the injury. That killer edge will come back. The Kyle Larson we knew before Indianapolis will be back, and probably will be back in Daytona after he has a chance to hit the reset button and do a bunch of dirt races over the winter. But I feel like if anybody is likely to be the worst out of the four, it's Kyle Larson. Hendrick hasn't had the speed. He doesn't have the same killer's edge that he used to. Yeah, I think Kyle Larson finishes last in the Cup Series Final Four. As for who I got in third, I've got Denny Hamlin. It's so tough to pick, man. I'm recording this after practice, and I believe Hamlin was the fastest of the championship four contenders. Let me have a look-see here. Can I find practice results? I can. There we are. So Ty Gibbs led the way in practice. Blaney was second. I got Blaney to win the race, by the way. Tell me what you will, but there's no way that guy doesn't win this win the race. Cindric, Priest, Hamlin 5th, Byron 9th, Larson in 11th, and Briscoe is down in 16th. I wonder what the lap averages are going to come out to be. I am very intrigued to see what those statistics are, but Kyle Larson, man. Kyle freaking Larson. I don't know. Denny Hamlin is the fastest in practice. Can he upset the two that I have ahead of him? He's definitely got the potential for it, but like every time Hamlin's in this situation or in a high pressure situation, something just seems to go wrong. Whether he's at the final step or he's a step or two away from the final step, something stupid just happens to him. Will this be the year that something stupid doesn't happen to him? I would, honestly, guys, I would love nothing more than Denny Hamlin walking in to friggin' first of all, having Jim France and the Steves hand him the trophy the championship trophy heading in to the final race, or after the final race, and having that championship trophy in the courtroom would be the funniest thing ever. Like, none of you guys can deny that. That would be the single-handedly funniest thing ever if that happened. I would honestly die to see what would happen if Denny Hamlin won the Cup Series championship, man. It would honestly be so hilarious. But anyway, final two. Briscoe and Byron. I definitely think this race is going to be between these two men. I mean, Briscoe had a vibration in practice, so not ideal circumstances for the 19 of Briscoe. Byron, oh yeah, he's got the momentum on his side. He just won the most similar track in the round of 8 to Phoenix. God. And Byron won Iowa. But Byron was the fastest of these final 4 at Loudon. I would have to put William Byron as number 1. I would have to. Briscoe, he's got the consistent speed. He's top 5 basically everywhere we go. I think a Chase Briscoe championship storyline would be the most amazing thing ever if Chase Briscoe got it done. But I would have to take William Byron out of these 4 to win the championship. He would be my pick to take the Bill France Cup on Sunday afternoon, man. If anybody here is the most likely to do it, I think it's Byron. I really do. I think it's close between Hamlin. I honestly think if something stupid doesn't happen to Denny Hamlin, he should win it. He will probably be the one leading the race, especially after seeing practice. But where am I supposed to believe, and what evidence have we seen in the past that Denny Hamlin can get this done? I hope that changes for him. I really do, but if I have to set a pick on it, I'm not picking Hamlin. I am going to take Chase Briscoe, though. I believe in storylines. I honestly believe it's written in the stars for Chase Briscoe to win this NASCAR Cup Series championship. I really do. I really, really do. It would be so awesome. It would be so awesome for Chase Briscoe to win this championship. But if I'm picking with my brain, I'm picking William Byron. If I'm picking with my heart, I'm picking Chase Briscoe. And brain believes in Briscoe too, so I'm going to go with the 19 of Chase Briscoe to win this championship. If I was to say it this way, I'd go Briscoe, Byron, Hamlin, and Larson in that order. That would be my prediction for the championship 4 guys. But let us know in the comments. Leave us a comment on YouTube and Spotify. Let me know, what do you believe who's the final 4 in order? Who do you believe it'll be? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, time to get into our race predictions here for the Truck Series, Xfinity, and Cup for the final time this season, man. It's honestly kind of sad to think about. It honestly is kind of sad to think about. But who am I going to give these boys? That is a good question. The truck race is literally getting ready to start as I'm doing these predictions. So hopefully I can get this done in time, but especially to go start the race too, because I want to go watch it. I definitely do. I want to spend my Halloween watching the Craftsman Truck Series Championship. So who am I going to give Jimmy for a sleeper? I am going to give Jimmy... You know what? I think he'd like a Stephen Parsons pick. I'll give him Stephen Parsons. I will take my man Brent Cruz. He's been holding it down lately, man. I'm going to take my boy Brent to get the job done. Get us a good result. And I am going to give Ethan... Oh, I should have took Cole Butcher, man. Cole Butcher's actually starting ahead of Tyler Ankrum. That's actually hilarious. I want to be nice to Ethan. I'll give him Jack Wood. There we go. I don't know. Jack Wood's probably not too nice, but I'll give it to him anyway. Who would be a suck pick? I'll give Jimmy Ben Rhodes. I'm going to give myself, since I'm predicting something stupid to happen to him, I'm going to take Ty Majeski as my suck pick. And Ethan, I know exactly who Ethan's going to take. Ethan's going to take Corey Heim. So I'm going to give him Corey Heim as a suck pick. Do not get that man started on how he feels about Corey Heim, guys. If you ever meet him in person, just don't ask him how he feels about Corey Heim. Just for your own greater good and his greater good. As for win picks, I know Jimmy would probably take Majeski. So I'm going to give him Majeski. Where he's still on the table, I'm going to take Corey Heim. These guys haven't sent me their picks. That's why I'm giving them to them. And for Ethan's win pick, he's probably going to pick Caden Honeycutt. And I would as well, but I can't not take Corey Heim if he's free on the board. Xfinity Series. Xfinity. How do you do? All right. Let's have a look at the Xfinity practice sheet. Who's a good sleeper? Just because I want the guy who I'm going to give myself, and I'm going to give Jimmy Bonsignor just because he's a big New England guy. How do you even spell his name? Bonsignor. Oh my god. Why can't I spell Bonsignor? There we go. That looks better. I'm giving myself Buttered Bean Queen, man. Brendan Queen's the dude. Brendan Queen is that dude. Who would Ethan's sleeper be? Probably Harrison Burton. I think he would go for a big HB on there. Now, officially racing for Sam Hunt Racing in 2026. I think that could be really interesting for my man Harrison. Great guy. Met Harrison in person. Super sick dude. Suck pick. I'm going to give Jimmy Sheldon Creed because I know he doesn't like him. I am going to give myself a little bit of... Oh, that just seems mean. Oh, I forgot to mention the whole Sam Mayer thing. We'll talk about that once I'm done the picks. But... Wait, where did... Actually, now that I think about it, where did Ryan Sieg end up in practice? Where's the 41? Where is the 41? Oh, he was 16th. Okay. Suck. I'm going to give myself Dean Thompson. Something would probably happen to him. It's Dean freaking Thompson. And I will also... I'll give Ethan Jeremy Clements. I don't know who else to give him. Winner. Jimmy's going to take Zillage, so I will give him Zillage. I'm going to give myself Allgaier because he's the next best thing. And for Ethan, I'm going to give him Carson Kvapil because I believe he would be his pick out of the rest of them. Now, Cup Series. The final NASCAR Cup Series picks of the season. Man, that's honestly sad to think about. Although we started the podcast after, I believe, Gateway was the first episode after we started this series. I believe so. Yes, because we started after NFL Week 1, and that would have been after Gateway. It would have been Gateway heading into Bristol. That's when we would have started this series. So, yeah. Damn, that's crazy to look back on. We're going to obviously have a full year next year. I'm super excited to have you guys join me for that. So, stay tuned for that, guys. It's going to be a good year next year. 2026, touchdowns and track limits is going the extra freaking mile, baby. So stay tuned for that. All right. Sleeper pick. I know exactly who Jimmy's taking in this situation. He drives a 60 car and his initials are RP. Do you need to know? That's all you need to know. I'm going to take Josh Berry. I really like Josh Berry in this spot. And as for Ethan, I'm going to give Ethan Eric Jones. I don't hate that pick myself. I'm going to give him Eric Jones to be a bit of a sleeper on Sunday. I think those are some really good picks. I honestly think all three of those guys could crack the top 10. Suckaroony. Who's going to suck? I'm going to give Jimmy Justin Haley. I am going to give myself himself a little bit of the Herbst. He's going to suck anyway, but that's just the truth. And I'll give Ethan a little bit of AD Austin Dillon. Now, winner. Winner. Who will be your winner on Sunday at the Phoenix Raceway? Jimmy, I'll give him Byron because he is a Byron fan now that Corey LaJoie's out of the Cup Series. I am going to go for Ryan Blaney to win the race. And for Ethan, I know he hates the Final Four pretty much, so I'm going to give him Briscoe because he's the one who he likes the least. Heading into the championship race, though, Ethan is on 60 points. I am on 53, and Jimmy is on 22. NFL totals, I lead Ethan by 4, 52 to 48. Jimmy is on 21. I will have those boys' picks in before the games start on Sunday. And yeah, we'll tally them up at the end of episode 9? Yeah, of episode 9 of the Touchdowns and Track Limits podcast. All right, F1 picks. Honestly, actually, wait, no, I gotta talk about Sam Mayer and Jeb Burton. Yeah. Oh, you guys, if you guys know me, you know I love Sam Mayer. I love Sam. Sam's a great dude, but he pushed he went over the line on this one. Let's keep it real. Sam Mayer, we crossed the line. You can't be cleaning out people after the checkered flag, especially for an incident as minor as that was with Jeb. I mean, some of his comments were honestly kind of funny, saying that Jeb has the shit factor. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That one makes me laugh. That is kind of funny. But, oh, man. Sam. Get ready for Daytona, my man, because, I just don't know why you did it to yourself, Sam. I wish you just lessons are learned, take it, grow from it, and become a better person. You'll be back in the Haas factory 41 next year. They're back with Chevrolet next year as well. So I'm rooting for my boy Sam, man. I hope he can get the job done. As for other headlines in the sport, now that I'm thinking about it, well, we'll talk about the end of the Truck Series race. How did Lane Riggs miss the Final Four, man? Lane Riggs deserves to be on that championship four. God damn, a lot more than Tyler Ankrum. Jesus Christ. Like, Tyler Ankrum is in the Final Four over Lane Riggs, who's had the second best season in trucks this year. Man. NASCAR, fix this goddamn format, man. Jesus Christ. I honestly do hope Caden Honeycutt wins the championship, though. It would be such a remarkable story after he's on his second different team of the season, replacing a man who's injured and on the sidelines for next year. Like, yeah, it would be a phenomenal story for the Halmar Friesen 52 team if Caden Honeycutt took him to the championship. That would be so awesome. I hope Stuart Friesen got to hold that trophy as well, because that would be the best thing ever if Caden Honeycutt won that championship for Halmar Friesen. That would be so awesome. Hopefully my man Cole Butcher, Nova Scotia's finest, finishes in the top 10 in the race here. That's literally probably waving the green flag right about now. It's 150 laps. God damn it. I have got to get this done soon. Oh, Lane Riggs suffers multiple inspection failures and needed to serve a pass-through penalty. Well, damn, that ain't good for the 34. That man's starting on pole. Imagine if he was in this championship. He would have won this damn championship, man. He would have. I honestly forgot to check truck qualifying. So Honeycutt is the highest of the Final Four. Then it's Corey Heim. Well, Caden Honeycutt's 5th. Corey Heim 6th. Ty Majeski 8th. And Ankrum is 21st. Wow. And that guy is in the Final Four over Lane Riggs. Cool. Other headlines in the sport. Ram and Colleague announced Justin Haley and Daniel Dye will be in The Ram truck program, I'm not surprised in the slightest. We knew Colleague Racing's Xfinity program would be stepping down a bit after this year. I didn't expect them to be gone completely for a couple years, but I figured they'd run a part-time car to get their usage out of some old parts. But yeah, sucks for Christian Eckes, man. He wasn't confirmed to be in a Ram truck yet. If he doesn't go to Colleague's Xfinity and Ram program, I figure McAnally Higgleman would take him back in a heartbeat. But yeah, just something interesting to look at. The lawsuit, man. The lawsuit is getting interesting. Ay, man. The charter agreements now make public. Like, oh, man. I haven't listened to much of the whole State of the Sport address today, but man, I really look forward to going back and checking the highlights of that because I'm sure there are some juicy quotes in that. Because NASCAR was hoping to have the lawsuit settled by now. It's not. We all know the teams are going to push this all the freaking way. So I am excited to see where and how far this goes. I mean, hopefully everybody's still able to work and be functional after this. I really hope the teams get the win, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. I can't think of any other headlines in the sport. I watch Eric every week. Eric Estep. Shout out Eric. And I can't recall him talking about anything. But yeah, I think that's about it for NASCAR headlines. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about the F1 Mexicano Grand Prix. Now, great race. Great freaking race. I only got to watch the highlights, but Lando Norris stormed away with the win. Charles Leclerc was able to hold off Max Verstappen thanks to a late safety car from his old teammate Carlos Sainz helping him out. But yeah, Norris, Leclerc, and Verstappen. Honestly, you might as well give Carlos Sainz half a podium for that timing of the safety car. But Ollie Bearman, bra freaking vo. Oh my God, what a performance by Ollie Bearman. Like, I cannot even begin to describe how big this is for Haas. It's been a rough season for Haas, Bearman, and Ocon. I mean, hasn't really been what they expected. So for him to pick up that P4, that's going to be huge for them. And they're going to a track next week in the Brazilian Grand Prix where they can have some really, really big performances. So yeah, big performance there by Ollie Bearman. That'll do him huge. Piastri P5, man. Rough go for Oscar. I mean, at least for Oscar's sake, he's still picking up the good performances that he needs to and still picking up big points. But you're in the fastest car, my man, and your teammate has just taken the championship lead by a single point. We'll talk about that later as well, but like, not a good situation for Oscar Piastri. I feel like this championship is starting to fall away from him sooner and like slowly but surely. But Antonelli with a P6, Russell P7, who had some really funny radio tidbits. Lewis Hamilton kind of got screwed over from the start. Just really hasn't been his year on that Ferrari, man. What more can you say? He qualified P3 though. That Ferrari is getting better. I really hope they can give him the car in 2026 because him and Lewis fighting, or Charles and Lewis fighting for wins every week would be amazing to see. Ocon got some points as well. Double points for Haas finishing P9, and Gabriel Bortoleto rounded out the points for the Kick Sauber team. Sonoda, Albon, Hadger, Stroll, Gasly, Colapinto, Sainz, Alonso, Hulkenberg, and Lawson rounded out the results. Now, having a look at that World Championship. Let's have a look at that results. I want to see the driver standing. So Norris leads Piastri 357 to 356. Verstappen is lurking, man. 321. We're going to his playground next week too. I fully expect Max Verstappen to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Look out. Look out for Max, man. If he gets going, he will come for this championship. 4 races to go in the F1 season. I think it's a very real possibility that he'd do it. I think he needs the McLarens to step on their toes a little bit, but I think Max can do this. I think Max can win this championship. Russell, 258, he's obviously out of it. Leclerc and Hamilton sit P6 and for P5 and 6. Antonelli in 7th. Albon, Hulkenberg, and Hadger round out the top 10 in the points standings. Yeah, we'll talk about the Brazilian Grand Prix more next week. And yeah, gonna be an interesting race, man. Gonna be an interesting race. Anyway, weekly NBA recap. So, the Chicago Bulls 4-0. Okay. The Bulls sit at 4-0. So are the 76ers. What? Philly and Chicago are undefeated. Are you mad? The Milwaukee Bucks P3. It's the Heat, the Cavs, Pistons, Knicks, and Hawks who would round out the playoffs currently. Then it's Hornets, Celtics, Magic, Raptors, Wizards, Pacers, and Nets that round out the Eastern Conference. Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Warriors, Blazers, Lakers, Grizzlies, and Jazz is how the Western Conference would stand. Playoffs currently. Then it's Clippers, Rockets, Timberwolves, Mavericks, Suns, Kings, and Pelicans that round out the Western Conference. Eastern Conference now. NHL weekly recap that I'm talking about now. In the Atlantic Division, the Detroit Red Wings lead the way, followed by the Montreal Canadiens, the Ottawa Senators, Tampa Bay Lightning, Boston Bruins, Carolina Panthers, Florida Panthers, Lightning, Bruins, Panthers, Sabres, and Maple Leafs. The Leafs are last. Oh my God, go figure. In the Metropolitan, the Penguins lead. The Pittsburgh Penguins in the Big 2025. God damn, okay. The Devils sit at P2 in the Metropolitan. Then it's the Hurricanes, the Flyers, Capitals, Blue Jackets, Rangers, and Islanders that round out the East. In the West, it's the Avalanche who lead the Jets, Mammoth, Stars, Blackhawks, Predators, Wild, and Blues in the Central. And then in the Pacific is the Golden Knights, the Los Angeles Kings, the Seattle Kraken, the Edmonton Oilers, Canucks, Ducks, Sharks, and Flames that hold the Pacific the way it is currently. Well, guys, that's all I've got for episode number 8 of the Touchdowns and Track Limits podcast. We'll talk more about my time in New England in the next episode when I can get Jimmy and Ethan back on the show. I was hoping to record this show in person, but it just never really worked out. So I apologize to all of y'all. Thank you guys for watching the Touchdowns and Track Limits podcast. If you did enjoy it on YouTube, smash the like button, comment, share, and subscribe with those notifications turned on so you miss future upload here on the channel. And on Spotify, don't forget to follow and turn on those notifications so future episodes come to you when listening to your show, whether it's on the way to work, on the way to just take a nap and have some chill time, whether you want to hear us have some hot takes about sports. Touchdowns and Track Limits is the podcast for you, whether it's on the racetrack, the pavement, or the gridiron. Touchdowns and Track Limits has you covered. Ice, court, field, ring, you name it. If these boys were more into UFC, I would talk about UFC a lot more on this podcast, especially after what happened with Tommy Aspinall this week. But guys, thank you so much for watching a brand new episode of the Touchdowns and Track Limits podcast. You know the drill. And yeah, we'll be back on schedule next week. Ethan is actually moving to day shift very soon, so we actually may be able to record this podcast and have it to you in preparation. So that would be wicked to see. But until then, guys, later.
What the hell's going on out here?
Let's go to eat a goddamn snack.